My name is Dennis Gebhardt. My company is Guru Village. You can see it here behind me. We are an empowerment company for salon professionals. Our goal, our vision is to help salon professionals become and master their craft. With the way that we do that is by offering them information, scientific-based information, factual information, new techniques, new behaviors, and things that help them empower themselves and become more successful. Hey, Suzette, how are you, my dear? Your hair looked really good today, so great job. Anyway, I come on at least twice a week, although we've really had a busy month for us at Guru Village. We have had some changes. Our website is new. It is called guruvillage.net. We have moved it, changed it, upgraded it. We've had some changes in our company. We brought on new team members. A lot of exciting things happening for us as a company, and so I've not been able to follow through every week with my broadcast on Monday and Tuesday night. So, honest guys, I'm trying to get back on the swing of things. We'll post-process with pics. Thank you, Suzette. I appreciate it. But anyway, that's who we are. I invite you to come and visit us, guruvillage.net. We have a wonderful website. There's interesting information on it. We have a calendar of events. We also have a course catalog that tells about what we offer as a company as far as educational courses go. So come on over and check us out. We also have a Facebook page called Guru Village. I invite you to do that. And if tonight you want to share, if you have an iOS device, if you swipe it to the right, an Android device, if you swipe bottom to the top, and if you like what you hear, let those beautiful hearts roll. As I was saying to you, my goal is to help salon professionals really kind of understand a little bit more about what we work with. And so each week I get questions from people and concerning products that we work with, concerning procedures, the way we approach color services. And so each week I try to give you some hot tips and things of that sort. Tonight I want to talk about bleach, lightener, decolorizer. Let's see, all kinds of pretty names, but it's bleach is what it is. And I just wanted to share a couple of insights with you about bleach. Okay, so first of all, this is non-branded, by the way, so I don't care what bleach you use. If you like it, then it works for you. God bless you, because it's just powder. Okay, that's the thing that it's amazing to me is that manufacturers, they conjure up these stories about their bleach being very, very special. And I've heard people say, well, this bleach will lighten hair to a creamy blonde. This bleach will lighten hair to a platinum blonde. And the reality is, it's just powder, folks. That's all that it is. And pretty much, they're all the same. If you set 5 bleaches side by side and look at their ingredient decks, you will find that they have some key ingredients in common. Ammonium persulfate, potassium persulfate, magnesium persulfate, aluminum stearate. You know, these are all common ingredients in a bleach. You say, well, how come my bleach doesn't lighten the way the other bleaches do? It's nonsense. If it's bleach, it will lighten the hair. As long as it has a good alkaline pH, it will work well. Sometimes bleaches don't lighten as well as we expect them to, not because of the powder, but because of the way we section the hair. They may not lighten. Clay lightener is the same too, absolutely. Kaolin is what we use as it's a clay base, all manufactured in Georgia. So if you're from Georgia, you guys are manufacturing kaolin, and it's also used in kitty litter. Did you know that? You know that clump kitty litter that clumps up when your little kitties go potty in the pan? They use kaolin in the kitty litter to make it clump together. So that's a bit of trivia, but it's funny to think about. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about tonight is just some things about lightening products, bleaches, I call them lightening powders, that maybe might help you. Hello, Michael, glad you're on. So here's a container of bleach. And if you open this container up, and it's common because it's a dedusted, dust-free bleach, you'll see that the powder comes in a bag. Now, I always ask this of my attendees, do you know why the bag's in the container? And they said, well, to help it ship better. Well, that's true. But the most important reason, especially if it's a dedusted bleach or dust-free, is that the density of the product is very light. So if you let it set on the counter too long, all of the active ingredients fall to the bottom of the container. And when they fall to the bottom of the container and you go by and you just scoop off the top, your lightning action can be varied. It can be good on Wednesday and not so good on Friday. So here's a hot tip for you. That bag, every time you pass it, squeeze a little bit. Knead the bag, okay? Squeeze it together or shake the container. Keep it all shaken up, and that way it keeps it very, very active. So if you're having issues with your bleach not performing the way that it did the day before yesterday, ask yourself, did I shake it? Did I knead the product? That's the reason that we do that with dedusted products, so that you can work with it better. All right, so another thing. How many of you mix your bleach and end up with hard to mix? In other words, you got those lumps in the bottom of your bowl and you have to mix and mix and mix to try and get it to be smooth. So I'm going to show you how I mix bleach. So here I have my lightener, and I put it in a glass jar because I want to show you what happens. This is my developer. I'm sorry, not my lightener, my developer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lightener. I pour the developer in my bowl first, not the powder. I pour the developer in my bowl first. Then I dump the powder in. Now I want you to see, can you see that that powder is actually floating on the liquid? So once I do that, and then I take and I mix it, it makes it very, very easy to mix, very creamy. So always add your liquid before you add your powder. And when you do that, you get a beautiful, creamy consistency. Can you see how creamy that is? Very, very creamy. And it didn't take a lot to mix it. It's just like cooking. All of you who've cooked, who've learned to bake, you know that they always say add your liquid ingredients first, add your dry ingredients second, and then mix them together. Okay? So that's a hot tip for you. If you want your bleach to mix quickly, you don't want to spend a lot of time to do that, to do mixing it, all you do is add your liquid first before you add your powder. Now look, the same principle applies to hair color. You know, many people, they squeeze the color out of the tube into the bowl, and then they pour their developer in. And when they do that, remember, you have created a mass. You've put a mass in that bowl. Now you're going to pour a liquid over it. And as that liquid hits the top of that mass, and you're watching your scale may say you were right on point with your measurement, and then when you lift your product away, the rest of that liquid runs down that mass and it weighs in on the scale, and you end up overpouring. You end up adding more developer than you have color. So add your liquid first, add your dry product second. Now, a couple of questions I want to address. You will notice that I use a whisk. I use a whisk to mix my products. Now, there's a rumor going around that you shouldn't use a whisk because a whisk will create or pull in more oxygen and cause the color to lose its potency. It won't be as active because you have whipped a bunch of oxygen into the compound. Look, if you're making meringue for lemon meringue pie and you're working with egg whites, that makes perfect sense. But the density of bleach powder and the density of egg whites is way different. So sometimes in our industry, we pull analogies from another world to try and help you understand what that's like. Listen, I would have to beat the daylights out of this product in order to bring in any excessive oxygen to let this so that this product would be affected by that. And remember, the oxygen doesn't come from the air. the oxygen comes from the peroxide. That's why I love it. You know, in our industry, we take a little science and a lot of personal interpretation, and that's how we end up with all these, what I call urban myths, all right? Like when bleach is working, when it dries out, the reason it dries out is because it has taken all the oxygen that the peroxide has, and it has exasperated it. The oxygen has been dissipated away. That's the reason that bleach swells. The reason bleach swells is because of the oxygen releasing, peroxide releasing oxygen into the mixture. All bleach swells. There is no such bleach that doesn't swell. There are some who swell less than others, but all bleach will swell. Now, that swelling that you see when you get that foam at the top of your bleach, when it doesn't stay creamy like this, when you get that foam at the top of your bleach, that's waste. There is no way to reactivate that. Even with a Kappa 130. I'm sorry. You know, emotionally, we may think we're doing something, but in science, we are not, okay? I'm a huge believer in science. So, understand that you can whip bleach, and you don't need to whip it. You know, the only reason people spend so much time mixing their product and they destroy the bristles of their brush, that's why I use a whisk, so that my brushes always stay like this. This brush is 3 years old. Now that's a 3-year-old brush. You can see that it still has all its bristles in perfect condition. Why? Because I never mix product with a brush. A brush was never designed to mix product. That's what spatulas are for. That's what whisks are for. So using a whisk, there's nothing wrong with that. You can even use a shaker. I tried to find a shaker today. You know, we used to use a shaker years ago, where you would put everything in it and you just shake it up, and that would mix it up really well. You can do it that way as well. You know, don't let, you know, some of these stories, you know, cause you to do something that you may not want to do. So oxygen and bleach, hopefully that's clear for you tonight. The same principle applies in hair color. You know, I was talking to one of my friends today and I said, I wonder if salon professionals really know why we aerate, why once we apply the color to the head, we lift the color off the scalp. Now, many people say that's because they want the oxygen to flow through, and that's not the reason at all. The reason we teach you to aerate is because you're putting an alkaline solution on a client. If you don't aerate, the weight will create heat, and the heat, along with the alkalinity of the product, could create a strong, sensitive reaction from your client. So those are the reasons that actually the reasons we do the things we do. It's not some of these stories that we hear. And that's what I love about our industry. We are a strange people. I love everyone in this industry, but we get some strange ideas. So hopefully tonight I've given you some hot tips about how to mix your bleach better. Also, when you mix the consistency of your bleach, you know, you can mix it like you wish, but remember, every manufacturer has tested their mixture. So please check your directions for mixing. And here's the only reason I say this to you. Thank you. Here's the only reason that I say this to you. When I increase, I have acid, which is developer. I had alkaline, which is bleach. When I increase my acid, I change the lifting action of the bleach. When I increase my alkaline, I change the lifting action of the bleach. So if I increase acid and have powder, sometimes I get more oxygen released into the mixture than I need. And if I process my color or my foils or my product underneath heat, that will create puffing and swelling. So pay attention to what your manufacturer recommends. Today, most manufacturers recommend either equal or 1.5 developer to powder, or some even 2 to 1 powder. And I think that if you stay within that ratio, you'll always have great success with your powder. And so hopefully what I've shared with you today is going to help some of you. If you find this valuable, please share it with your friends. Let them know that we broadcast twice a week. And we also broadcast on Facebook Live. So as soon as I finish here, I'm going to take a few minutes out, remix my product, and go on to Facebook Live. Please check us out. We're very excited about Guru Village. Looks like we're going to be traveling out of the country this year. So gurus are going to be on the road out of the country. We're very excited about that. We are also now offering classes not only in English but in Spanish. And we also now have an in-salon or host salon program. If you're interested in that, please send us an email at guruhairtribe@gmail.com, and we would love to share our in-salon salon hosting program with you. So with that, don't drink the water. You bet. We won't. Listen, thank you all so very much, and I hope to see you again soon. I know I'll see you next week, but until then, as I always say, from my heart to yours, Captain Color, out.